Welcome to Bears Banter Talk Show, Week 9. We're coming off a disappointing loss against the Baltimore Ravens last week, where we had an opportunity to win 5 straight. But it's another week. We facing the Bengals. When we penciled these games in May, when the schedule came out, we penciled both of these games in as losses. But we're going to talk about it today because, we lost to the Baltimore Ravens last week without Lamar Jackson. And we playing the Bengals this week without a Joe Burrow and possibly a banged up Flacco. Welcome to Bears Banter Talk Show. Let's talk about it, fellas.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
It's Halloween.
One day I'm gonna get up and do that, right?
I saw a guy out there doing yesterday.
Hey, you know, man, the amazing thing about that song, man, when we were all little, there was like other, Halloween songs, Purple People Eaters and, whatever different stuff. Man, that's the Halloween song now, man. It's
Yes, sir.
It's like happy birthday to you, man. It's
right. It's nothing compares to it. Nothing compares to that, man. Good times. What was that, 1983?
But can y'all remember when it came on, first premiered on Friday Night Videos? You went back the next school day, you went back. Everybody in the school was talking about that video. Well, we was talking about the girl, but the video was great too. Ola Ray. Delicious.
The most played video on MTV. The most played video on MTV. That's for all these. That's for all those people that's our age.
And
most people don't even
told,
know what MTV is.
If you guys remember MTV, they wouldn't play black video. So they were going to play Michael Jackson's video. And Michael Jackson said, if you don't play other black artists, I don't want you to play my video. So
yeah, that was the first one.
Kudos, King of Pop.
Yep. Hey, that. I mean, you look forward to being able to. He's about to drop another video. I mean, it was like a mini movie, man, on a Friday, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that bad. Then he did the bad with Wesley in the subway. You ain't bad. You ain't
nothing.
You ain't nothing.
Hey, what's up, Leon? Thank you for tuning in.
All right. No, I'm throwing eggs, Leon. I'm throwing eggs, man. But the difference being is folks like with the way the economy has been, folks is grabbing them eggs and putting them in the bag. What we have tomorrow? Scrambled eggs. What else? Scrambled eggs.
Whoa! That took me back, man. I like it.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, before we got on live, we were having a discussion about Caleb Williams and some of the expectation. I know what's coming up this week is the Bears and Bengals, but I kind of like that conversation we was having. So I thought maybe some of the fans, people who are viewing would like to hear some of them thoughts, that y'all were talking about. I think I heard you say something, Jay, about this being a new offense.
Yeah, Caleb got drafted number 1 overall. Eberflus and Shane Waldron was the coaches, head coach and offensive coordinator respectively. And Shane got fired, 9 games in. Then Thomas Brown took over, and then they fired Eberflus. Then Thomas Brown took over as the head coach. So technically, now we're talking about 3 head coaches and 2 offensive coordinators in 1 year. And we finished the way we finished. Now we got Ben Johnson here, and Caleb has played 7 games in this offense. And as much as I tell people, it takes time. Chicago has never, ever developed a franchise quarterback.
Right.
Never.
Sid Luckman wasn't
it wasn't called a franchise quarterback back then, guys. So we've never developed a franchise quarterback. And people look at what Jaden Daniels did last year, what Drake May is doing this year, and what Bo Nix is doing, and all this. The comparison is not the same. And
No.
what people need to understand is it takes time to develop a franchise quarterback. And from what Caleb was last year and what I'm seeing this year, I see the incremental progress that he's making. It's just going to take some time. And I
So
just want people to understand that.
let me ask a quick question, and I'm gonna make a little semblance to something that we're all synonymous with: school. You got a week to learn 10 words to spell. Why is it that half your class get a 70? But you're asking him to learn, not only you're asking him to learn, like, say, the 15, like the first 15 plays, but have like a cog of plays that you need to know. There also has to be cohesion to whereas your wide receivers are where they need to be. They're running their routes they're supposed to do. The offensive linemen are not missing blocks. The offensive linemen that need to get to the second level need to do that. There's a collection of things that need to happen. So you're throwing this playbook at the beginning of the year with the new coach, and the fans are so fickle. They expect these dudes to be like Rhodes Scholars and understand it. But if you look at a lot of squads who were successful and not just maybe went to a final or something like that and then just went just somewhere out in oblivion, we're talking about those teams that constantly go to the playoffs. These teams have had time to mold themselves to understand the playbook, and it should be in a point to where Caleb should be able to drop back and he knows the play without even looking at a receiver and throw it. And when he throws the ball, the receiver's right there. But it's not just that. It's the whole thing, man. So, but for what we're doing right now to have a relatively new playbook, man, we're not doing bad at 4-3. We make mistakes, but that's what happens.
Real
Yeah,
quick.
my issue. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Plank. Real quick. To piggyback off of that, I was listening to the score a lot this week, and I heard Matt Forte, and they was talking about choice routes. That's a big thing among teams that has cohesion. Choice routes where, as a wide receiver, I'm giving my quarterback a choice, but we got to be on the same page. A la Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce don't know. Travis Kelce ain't ran the route tree in probably 6 years. It's all choice routes.
Yep.
But when you and your quarterback is synced in, y'all know what the choice routes are. And I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example, not to go prolong this. I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example. I sent it to y'all in a text message earlier this week. That last play of last week's game where Caleb sidearmed that ball into the end zone, and DJ Moore stopped and sat down in the zone. And what Caleb saw was our nemesis, Roquan Smith, lurking in the middle.
Yep.
All he had to do was make a choice to continue running. Caleb throws that ball, and it's a touchdown. But because this team has not learned how to win yet, they are not capable of making those decisions. Whereas you got people when you hear the quarterback come up to the mic, we wasn't on the same page. We wasn't on him and DJ Moore. They wasn't on the same page. So it's a lot of intricacies. That's why I love this game, and I tell people it's nothing like the intricacies of this game.
Well, to that point, what's happening with the Chicago Bears fans, especially, is we expect you to go from step 1 to step 10 in a short period of time, and that's actually against nature. So we're looking at the Bears team as well as Caleb Williams. Of every week, we want to see progress. The truth of the matter is, a lot of times when you first started walking as a child, you didn't walk successfully every time after the first time. You had bouts where you fell down. You had bouts where you tripped and you lost your balance. That's a natural process. Same way with Caleb Williams. He's got a new coach. His body is not committed to a lot of muscle memory. Some of the things that he's being asked to do, he's actually making incremental progress every game. As a matter of fact, last game that we played against Baltimore, he looked much better than he did against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, he did.
Before that. So what you're going to end up seeing, you might not know that you're actually seeing him get to the point where he's actually able to figure this out until he actually already does it for 2 or 3 games. So you have to, as a football fan, I'm not denigrating anybody or anything like that, but you have to know what you're looking at. And the truth of the matter is, if you actually study the tape and you start spending a little bit more time looking at it, you can see where he's progressing. You can also see where the Bears' offensive line is progressing, but by the same token, he's got problems. Some of his problems might be he's got problems getting the whole cadence down because this is really long play. And because he has problems with the cadence, when he's calling out the play, it might not come through cleanly for everybody. That's why they know some of the guys on the line don't know when that play is or what the shift is or what the read is. And that's where you're seeing these penalties come in. So there's a whole amalgamation of things that comes into whether or not you see the quarterback ascend to where we expect them to do. I think the young man's doing well. And I think very shortly this year, we're going to actually be able to see it and see all that progress at one time.
Hey, I think those are some great points, man, by everybody. And Jay, I wanted to go back to that comment about choice routes. I actually heard Kurt Warner this week saying that he didn't even like choice routes.
Yep.
And he said he would tell his guys before the game, your choice route is to keep running. Then stop. He said, you're not going to make me look bad.
The ball is out there.
Pretty much. Because if you stop, you get this pick. You just better. That's your choice. Is to keep running anytime throw because I'm gonna throw it ahead of you. So at this point, I believe Caleb has to take the leadership and say that because almost on all the routes, the crossing routes, the skinny posts, he's thrown it in front of guys. So he believes they should keep running, and it's the receiver's job to get on the page with the quarterback. And if they don't do it automatically, the quarterback has to tell them. This is what we're going to do. So this, for me, that'll be the next step in growth in his part, is taking the leadership and also lining guys up. Hey, move up, right? You don't want to have to do it, but somebody has to do it now because you're getting too many penalties. Move up, move back. You're not lined up wrong. But I think Caleb has I thought he played better last week than he did the last 2 games. And not that he played bad the last 2 games. And I know social media, some people wanted to argue with me, but when I put the stats in front of them, they was actually shocked. I'm saying he went from 58% the last 2 game completion to 65%. If you and I say if you take away the 2 intentional ground, I did the math at it, he's at 68%. So how of course you hit the pick. But Ben Wilson said at the beginning of the season, he doesn't care about the picks. He wants growth from the quarterback. They don't want the sacks. You are going to compromise some completion percentage when you start having throwaways. They don't want the sacks, they want the throwaways. They'd rather have the throwaways. So the 70% is a lofty goal. And I know somebody gonna say Drake May is at 70%. Okay, fine. I mean, it is what it is, but I will say this. My last point to wrap up. The Bears offense right now is ranked at 13 overall in total offense. So you can't tell me their offense suck. They may not be getting all the touchdowns in some game. You don't rank 13 overall in offense and your offense suck.
Well, there's something I want to say, I want to add in here about leadership, okay? You cannot be a leader and be likable or be nice. The thing about a leader is you can't start off saying, hey, guys, what does everybody want to do? And try to get everybody on your page. They'll think you're soft. And you can never go from being soft to trying to be hard. You can always go from starting off being a butt and cussing people out and say, hey, you ain't doing it right. And you can ease up over time. So with Caleb Williams, he had to make a decision. You the captain. Are you going to actually lead this team, or do you want to be one of the boys and want to have everybody be on your side? Michael Jordan, everybody on the Bulls. We find out after the last dance, they all hated him. But guess what? He brought 6 championships here.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have him. But you know what? Maybe you guys can kind of give an opinion on this to kind of put a little semblance to all this, because I mean, Jay and Bernard were offensive guys. You were a defensive guy. You have to defend these. Something that I found in my mind's eye for teams that like got guys to come into a new a new set of circumstance. What I found is guys that came from the offensive side that came from a scheme where the team that they were at ran a West Coast route, West Coast offense, and then they go to another place with a West Coast offense. Like, for example, you got the dagger where, the vertical routes like the slot receiver, drag from the weak side, you got a 15-yard deep dig or something like that. The concepts are the same. Maybe the cadence is a little different, but the spacing and where you need to be in that particular scheme. So if you're coming from one team to another, it's easier for you to get immediate cohesion. But when you're going from one set of circumstances, this old busted up Bears playbook, to a guy who does understand how offenses run, you're going to have some dysfunction.
And you're right. You're right. You're going to have some dysfunction because it's not only the cadence, but the verbiage is different.
Yep.
And now you're talking about in Shane Waldron's offense, if you run in high lows, if you run in a short, a medium, and a long, Shane Waldron's short might be 5 yards. Dan Johnson's short might be 9 yards.
Yep.
So now we're going from 5 to 9, from 9 to 15, from 15 to 25. Those are things that it's hard to coach. And because they are professionals, you would think like, yeah. But how long does it take to get out of your head? Like, okay, last year I was running a 5-yard route. This year it's a 9-yard route. It's a lot of little intricacies that people just don't understand. And when they watch these professionals, and they are professionals, so you expect them to know what they're doing, but at the same time, it's a learning process. You have to erase. DJ Moore is on his 8th year, on his second team. Do you know how many offenses DJ Moore had to erase? Especially the 5 years he was in Cleveland. How many offensive coordinators did he have? Well, he had to just, it was just like eraser. It's just like erase my entire brain and let me start over again. Mentally, that's a lot. Physically is the easy part, but the mental part of it, that's a lot, man. And people just expect people to be like, well, they professional, they supposed to do this. No. Yeah, you would think, but that's not the case.
So yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on what you're saying, Jay. Adults learn based on previous information. Children learn whatever you tell a kid, they're gonna take it and they're gonna believe it. So
is this a sports show?
Well, by the same time, when you're talking about a rookie quarterback, that first offensive coordinator, no matter what he told him, he was gonna believe. Okay, but since that first one failed, then you had another one, then you got another one. Now you're using the information that you already learned last time and say, is this like this? So when you talk to a grown person, you said, I need you to do X, Y, Z. First thing they're gonna say is, oh, is that like this, or is this? They look at it based on prior.
Is this something new? Is this something new?
That's why a lot of times when you see these journeyman quarterbacks come in, and they can come in at the end of the game and they can look decent. Why? Because they have translated all these verbiage and offenses and all of that stuff into something that they can understand. But the key part was they had to get an understanding before they're able to go forward with that.
And that's why they tell you, and from an educational standpoint, that's why they tell you when you read a sentence and you don't understand the word, look up the definition, because that one word will completely throw you off. But as you were talking about the journeyman, he has so many plays in his head, and most importantly, he understands them all. So he could have 300 plays in his head, and you can drop any one of those plays. He knows exactly how it goes. Why? Because he understands it. But if you get this kid coming from this team, and now you bring him over here, he may be gung-ho about doing it, but he still has to understand all the components. But, we're not making excuses. We just telling you how it is.
I think the biggest thing, other than the Bears fans, all as a whole, we haven't seen a quarterback develop a franchise quarterback, is we have a false perception in our minds that because he was number one, he should be the best quarterback immediately. That's actually false. Most number one picks actually have the hardest role. Now, we know the Bears wasn't the worst team that year, but the thing is, we in the back of our head, right? The back of our heads, I should even say the front of a lot of our minds is doubt. Our doubt is not in the doubt so much as the player, the doubt that the Bears can never get it right. That's the biggest doubt that we have. And that's why I joked about it didn't matter who the Bears had drafted. We will always have thought the other person was better. We had got Jaden Daniels, let's say if everything working out the way it is neatly, we'll be complaining about Jaden Daniels being injured, and we should have got Caleb Williams because he's balling out in Washington. Okay, if we had got Drake May, we'd be pissed off because, man, we just did the Mitch Trubisky thing again, even the same school. Mm-hmm. Man, they just a bunch of racists, right? And if anything that these two guys would have been done wherever they were at, we'd have been like, man, we should have got those two guys. Man, we done did it again. So the thing about the Bears fans is we just have doubt, and we believe some people believe that there is a backup on the roster that could start. If that backup could actually start, somebody would actually have offered you enough. As bad as some of these quarterbacks playing right now, somebody be offering you something in the trade deadline if they thought your backup actually was a sufficient starter right now for their team. If nobody doesn't, that means they don't believe that themselves. But I had posed this question to Plank, and I'm going to pose it to y'all, and I posed to my brother yesterday. If you had the choice between Jalen Hurts, and I'm picking them because they're the same draft class. Jalen Hurts, and you get all the accomplishments of Jalen Hurts: a Super Bowl appearance, a Super Bowl win, a good offensive line, good defensive line, pretty good stack team that's competing. Or I give you Joe Burrows, top quarterback in the league every year, gonna be hurt every other year. One Super Bowl appearance, haven't been back to the playoff since his second year, I believe. Which one would you take?
I would say Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts should have been a Bear. Jalen Hurts should have been a Bear. Jalen Hurts was picked 51 overall. My wife would be so mad if I knew this information by heart. Oh, she'd be so mad. Jalen Hurts was picked 51 overall. We took Cole Kmet at 48.
See, you know what?
All that year, I was on social media like hashtag Jalen Hurts, hashtag. And we had Mitch Trubisky, which was supposed to be our franchise quarterback, but they had already said that they wasn't going to pick up his fifth-year option. So it was one of the things we was like, I was like, Jalen Hurts, this is the guy that we need to get, Jalen Hurts. But at the same time, in my mind right now, to answer your question, it would have been Jalen Hurts. But in my mind right now, I still think about how much damage would have been done to Jalen Hurts had he came here. Just like I talk about Patrick Mahomes. The Bears passed on Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, 10 other teams there too.
He'd be in the Jets getting sacked or injured right now.
And if the Bears would have drafted Patrick Mahomes, what kind of quarterback would he be?
He wouldn't be the one he is now.
That speculation is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
And and people need to get over that. People need to get over that.
Yeah.
I got one.
See, my point is that Jalen Hurts don't have to be the best quarterback in the league for them to win the Super Bowl. Nope. Joe Burrows, I would say, arguably is the best quarterback in the league, but he cannot stay. He's always hurt. And now because they pay so much money to him and the receivers, they can't even put a team on the field that's competitive consistently. So that's my whole point, that Caleb doesn't have to be the best guy in his class. He just had to prove he's the franchise quarterback to make the Bears a Super Bowl contender or winner. It don't matter what those other guys do. But if he end up winning the Super Bowl.
Here's another thing too. It's one of the biggest components outside of that we were talking about before. It's culture. You notice when we had a team, I mean, we had Walter Payton, we had the guy, we were doing pretty, we were like, ugh. Want to know what happened? The culture changed. Why did it change? Because good teams will come into a situation to change a culture, and it's always going to be one or two guys who are just, oh, man, you know, such and such. That culture be like, you know what? Oh, we deal with it. We'll shut them out, but we still going to do what we do. You take an Andy Reid, and he's come to change the culture. Them two dudes, By the time they get through saying what they're saying, get your coat in your bag, you're gone. Because what we do is we'll keep components, negative components from a situation and thinking if we add more, it's going to help. Everybody has to believe. You can't have that one. Because like you go to your job, you ever go to your job and you got some you got hard stuff going on. You may have a deadline to meet. It's always that one person that's complaining.
Bringing that negativity.
Best day of your life. Everything's going great. You guys are moving. You're making progress. And this one person starts and now you done broke your concentration. Culture is everything. When Dicker came in, Dicker was just getting rid of dudes. It's like, oh, you got a hump in your back. You got to go. Oh, your tooth crooked. You got to go. You was 13 seconds late for a meeting. You got to go. But that's also what you have to do. You have to get everybody, regardless of what happens when you run those plays. If they're not working and you're working on them in your progress, but if everybody believes that, you know what, we're going to do these reps and we're going to get better and we're going to win, that's the only way you can change the culture.
My problem
so
with that,
the Bears and CJ Gardner.
Let me address that in a minute. But my problem with that whole thing with culture, Chicago Bears fired a coach that was the coach of the year after a 10-6 year.
Exactly.
So you get the ghost of the still alive Lovie Smith that is always going to dispute and have a valid argument for what the Bears decided to do. So for whatever reason, they decided they wanted to go in a different direction, and we are still dealing with the repercussions from that.
Somebody took my now ladies when I was 6 years old. Instead of
crying, looking for them, man. Let's go.
I ain't looking for them no more. I found them. It wasn't nothing nice, but let's put it this way: stole my now ladies. I couldn't do nothing about it. Instead of sitting there crying, complaining about it, I started boxing and doing martial arts. Next time I saw him, I'm like, McDonald's on you. So what you got on my drink? And I gave him a look. He's like, what would you like to drink? So the thing is, a lot of times you have a circumstance like with the Bears. I like what Johnson's doing because when I look at the end, when they win games, it's like, and it may sound strange to y'all. If you look at other coaches we had when we won games in the locker room, you could say, yeah, they won. Johnson just looks different. He just looks like he's in the middle. He looks like a coach. He sounds like a coach. And it's less about likability and it's more about respect. You can see the players respect him. And I hope that he can keep that. And I hope that we're able to move the ball a little bit further as we go. But understand, man, I really do believe that Johnson may be all right.
And what people need to understand is Johnson came from a team that didn't know how to win.
Yep.
The Lions didn't know how to win.
Oh, my God.
So, people like, oh, they beat the Raiders by 1 point. They beat such and such by. It's a win. You have to establish a culture of winning football games. The Lions was not winning football games. But when they started to win football games, that's when the confidence grew. And as the confidence grows, no matter if you win by 1 point or by 25 points, it stacks. It stacks. And when you stack wins and it builds your confidence, it makes for a better performance on the field.
Jay, we said on this show, and I know I did personally, the Lions that first year, they had won 7 games. And I laughed at this show because they were celebrating that last game. And I was laughing because I thought they had made the playoffs. And I was like, man, I thought they made the playoff. But you know what? That was their turning point. They won 7 games that year, and they would celebrate. The next year, they won, 12 games?
The turning point.
14 or whatever, or 15?
That game was the turning point where it was the last game of the season. And they beat the Green Bay Packers and knocked the Packers out the playoffs. And they've been rolling ever since. It's all about building confidence. And when a team finally learns how to win, you see what happened.
Right.
You see what happened.
That's true, man. All it takes is a little bit of you'd be shocked, man, at what it does to a lot of teams, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people can motivate and they got the rah-rah speech and all that stuff. But when that person gives a rah-rah speech and everybody goes out there and does their job and they leave it on the wall, even when they lose, they're disappointed, but they can look at each other and say, you know what, we lost, but I didn't let you down. And that's huge because now you go into the off season instead of guys out in Miami Beach. You know, they may take their week vacation, but instead of tricking off in the clubs, you're seeing these guys doing YouTube videos where they train in 6 days a week and they're out there getting together and they're networking. And you get the receivers and the quarterbacks meeting somewhere like in Miami in December and they just running routes. And then that next year you look at them, it's like, dang.
It's something different. It's something different about these guys. What they doing?
Yeah.
But it takes it.
You know, I think I found something
interesting.
I found something interesting this week. I think the Bears about to have a little toughness going on in this game on the defensive side. Not that they ain't been tough, but you about to have Tariq Stevenson back, and you got C.J. Gardner out there, and you got Brisker talking smack, talking about Justin Jefferson crying a few years ago because he was talking trash. So, I mean, what's going on with that? I mean, was that a good signing to you guys as far as? I mean, it wasn't that much money, but they had to do something in the secondary because they got too many guys out. What do y'all think?
Go ahead, Flint.
Absolutely, this was a great signing. One of the things you have to understand about DBs like C.J. Gardner-Johnson is he motivates himself by talking smack. So he says something that's outlandish, and then he has to back it up. So that's what makes him stay on his P's and Q's. At the same time, 30% might be motivating himself. The other 70% is him getting into the offensive guy's head. Once an offensive guy starts listening to what you got to say and starts thinking about you, he's not thinking about what he needs to do, and you already own him. As a DB, if I can get one moment where you're distracted and you paying more attention to me than playing on the team,
playing the game,
I got you.
I got one thing that I tell you, I was gonna crack you up. It was this movie that Tom Selleck in. He was in the baseball. He's on the baseball team. Guys on first base getting the lead off, trying not to get picked off. He was like, "Man, have you seen some pictures of your new pictures of your wife?" He's like, "No." He said, "You want to see some?" And the dude looked at him and he tagged him out. CJ Gardner is the type of guy that will be in an empty stadium at 3:00 in the morning, walking and turn around and say, "What you say about my mama?" But it's a difference between some guys that talk trash. CJ Gardner, like you say, that trash talk actually turns him into a whole nother player. And don't think them safeties. You see, the first person that had an opinion that said something was Jaquan Brisker. Imagine them two in the backfield right now. Now receiver's going to be all you want a receiver to do if he's running a route and you're on there is to blink. That's all you need to do. Just make him blink. If you make him blink, then you're good.
Yeah, I think the signing of Gardner was a good signing based on our injuries. And even when the guys come back, could that be a depth piece? Because, you know, he actually plays inside and he can play outside as well. You know, with the fact that we don't know when Jaden Johnson coming back, which I don't think he's going to come back this year. You know, and if we talking about advancing and really shooting for the playoffs, I think his experience and his, I ain't going to call it leadership. I won't call it leadership, but his experience and his pedigree, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. So okay. So when I saw it, I was like, that's a good signing. That's a good signing. Plus, you know, he played with Dennis Allen, you know, in New Orleans. So I don't think they would have signed off on it if Dennis Allen was like, oh no, he a locker room cancer. He this, he that. You know, I think from what I'm hearing, he's bounced around a lot of teams because he hasn't been satisfied with the amount of. He hasn't been satisfied with his role. He was like, I can do more. I can do better than this. You know, I mean, he was on the Ravens practice squad. As bad as as bad as they defense is, this dude on a practice squad, really?
Yeah.
So I'm all for it, and I hope that it all works out because Kyler Gordon was an integral part of this Dennis Allen's defense. And if CJ Gardner could come in and fill that role, then I think it's a good signing.
Well, I tell you what.
Okay, so we getting Austin Booker back, right?
Oh,
yep.
Yes.
Yep.
He hasn't proven himself yet, but you know what? He's got to be better than what we've seen out here. Austin Booker, quick first step. He's strong. He's committed. I'm hoping that he's going to give us that boost from the defensive line standpoint. The other point I was going to make is this week we got a monster that's the number 2, 1 or 2 top wide receivers. I hope that the Bears talking smack and chirp and all of that stuff throws him off his game a little bit, because that's literally the only chance that Cincinnati has of beating us if Jamar Chase goes crazy.
Man, look, this dude got 70 receptions. Jamar Chase got 70 receptions, man. He's had 54 targets in the last 3 games.
But you ever notice though, there's certain players. That's a lot. You ever notice like certain players like him? You know, people talk trash these guys. You're one receiver. Oh, he's a good guy. With guys like that, they don't even talk to him, because when you get a guy like that, there's nothing that you're gonna do to stop him from doing what he does if he's got you one-on-one. And it's like,
and see, the thing about it, Jamar Chase is a trash talker too.
Yeah.
So he got 70 receptions in what, 8 games? 7. This dude got 70 catches. Some people don't get that in the whole season. He got a whole half a season to play. This dude got 70 catches. So you know what the focal point of this Cincinnati offense is. But what we need to do, especially if Joe Flacco is 50-50 and they talk about it's his throwing shoulder, we need to get to the quarterback. I'm not saying hurt nobody. I'm just saying get to the quarterback, put the guy on the ground, make him think about what it is that he needs to do. He's 40 years old. Do he want to continue to play, or is he going to sit out this second half and be like, I got my wife and kids to think about? You know,
you're 40 years old. Don't you hurt yourself every time you fall? Think about it. This is not even being tackled. If you fall on the ground and had to pick yourself up at 40, that hurts. That's even worse than some defensive lineman, 300-pound guy landing on top of you, man. All they got to do is, if Booker gets him one good time, hopefully he's out the game.
But yeah, you know what? But see, the thing is with Booker,
we're looking forward to,
which y'all don't know, is when we're off camera. I made a comment about Booker, and the reason why I'm blinking is because Plank had me in a sleeper hole, so I'm just kind of waking up. I'm a little sleepy, but seriously, he hasn't proven himself. But dude had 4 sacks in the preseason, and he's in practice, and the coaches are basically saying that he's doing his thing. He hasn't played, and of course, practice is completely different. It's completely
That's not good, guys. No. He's going up against our offensive linemen.
I'm sorry, Plank. I'm just trying to play. Please, my neck hurt. Nah. But seriously, the thing is that we do know that a regular game is completely different from practice, but there's certain types of qualities and certain things that you see in guys that are translatable. You know, you may not be blocking as much, but then like as the preseason goes to the end and you're kind of maybe ramping up a little bit, he was able to get in the backfield before. Now you got your starters out there and he's still able to do it. Your hope is that he can bring it to a game. I just want to see him. I'll just be happy to see a fresh body come out there. And if he can give us some pressure, now it completely changes. You think we got interceptions now? Imagine what our defensive backs are going to be able to do if we get the pressure that we need. We can actually bump ourselves up. Like remember last year, we were like, and then all of a sudden Sweat comes and he was like a welcome addition. And as soon as he comes, all of a sudden the defense completely goes from okay to pretty doggone good. But
we just have to get pressure. Whether or not he was actually competing against Theo Benedict. So if he's beating Theo Benedict the whole game, that's a bad sign for us.
That's a bad sign for us. Yeah.
But hey, if he's legit and he beat Joe Thuney on a couple pass plays or Darnell Wright, that's an entirely different story altogether. So
I do want to point out the Bengals offensive line is really not that good, which has contributed to Joe Burrow's injuries. But I also want to point out that they got a beast on the other side, Trey Henderson, who might not play in this game.
He's out.
He's already been ruled out.
He's already out. Okay,
so ruled out.
Hallelujah.
That's okay. So he's out of the game.
He's out.
And if you look on the offensive side, on the Bears side, DeAndre Swift is out of the game. So it looked like we're gonna have one guy. And who's the second back? Because Roshan Johnson is out.
Roshan Johnson is out. Roshan Johnson is out. You could look at Travis Homer, or you can elevate Brenton Brown, who had a good preseason from the practice squad. But even with Henderson, this defense was not good. This defense was not good. They are ranked in the bottom half of every statistical category on defense. So it really didn't matter if Henderson played. There is no way. I mean, I hate that Swift is not playing, because Swift over the last couple of weeks has been playing. He's been running the ball well, but it gives Monangai a chance to prove himself. And he actually ran the ball pretty well last week with the limited touches that he had. So if you could get him a few more touches, and I like the fact that he is an every down back. If you want to go back and look at the film and watch this kid, a seventh round rookie, pick up a blitz, I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. So with Swift out, which is not a good thing, but I feel confident against this defense that Kyle Monangai can actually produce some numbers.
But let's put some caveat out there real quick.
They for running the ball. Actually, it wasn't for passing. They actually rallied against the Bengals running the ball, being down by 2 scores. What you got, Plank?
Yeah, the key to this game, whether everybody knows this or not, it doesn't matter if Joe Burrow's on there or whoever, is 50 points. Cincinnati is built to score 50 points a game. By the same token, they're built to give up 51. So if we can hold Cincinnati's offense, with Chase and with Higgins, that's basically all they have. Their whole offense is built to outscore you. So the more times that we get a 3 and out, or we actually get them off the field with no points, the better our opportunity for winning is. So I'm thinking the Bears offense, it should be an easier time. The Bears offense should look really good in this game. So those are some of the keys that I'm looking for.
But you know what?
Joe usually average about 3 interceptions when he played the Bears. So
yeah, he don't
want to break that streak. Just keep it going.
But look, and this is why I say, most importantly, more than anything else, we need to cut out them doggone penalties. Because I remember last week we were sitting up here and we were looking at the Ravens defense giving up 32 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
They only gave us half of that. We only got 16. Now, look at Cincinnati, same thing. We could get 16 again. If we getting all these penalties, I would say our over-under, if we could keep it under 6 or under, we will be able to do that. But we start getting to the 10-11 category, it's going to be a sad set of circumstances that we went up against 2 real bad defensive teams and we lose a game. And
then we lose both of these games.
But we don't even score 20 points.
Yeah.
Baltimore had a couple of all-pro players that came back and that are back to form. Cincinnati has nobody playing defense on their team. They might go out there with 9 players every game. I ain't even really looked at it. They are horrible in defense.
Yeah,
the entire purpose of them, the way they built their team is they wanted to outscore you. That's why they gave $100 million to Joe Burrow and $100 million to Chase and $100 million to Higgins. Now they don't have any money to pay anybody to play defense. That's how they structured their team. So we got to make them pay for that this week.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think in this game, what we have to do as fans is first cheer for our team to win. I think what you're getting now is, I know we started the conversation about Caleb. I think what we're getting from fans is this week-to-week affirmation that has to reach some kind of standard. As long as the Bears outscore them, that's all they need to do. It doesn't matter if they pass for 300 yards or 150 yards. You do what's working. If you start running the ball and you're running all over them, well, you keep running until they make you pass, right? And that's the key to it. It doesn't matter if Caleb has 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. The objective of the game is to win the game. It doesn't have to be by passing. It doesn't have to be by running. It's just when that final score and they shoot that gun, you're winning. That's all.
That's all that count. That's all that count.
Again, to win the game. Hello.
Right. Because again, like I say, the Bears can win 10-6 every week. and I wouldn't care.
They
I
went 2 to
would not
nothing. I'll be
care.
happy.
Well, I know y'all say 2-0, one safety in the shutout. I get it, but if the Bears win 10-6 every week, I'm okay with that. And what fans need to realize that this again, still, and I'm just drilling this just because it's just my belief, and you don't have to believe what I believe. When you're trying to develop a franchise quarterback, it's gonna take time. No
Yeah.
matter what all the other quarterbacks in his draft class is doing. You know, everybody talk about the kid from Washington. You know, he missing games. He missing games, and now his team is on a losing streak.
Yeah.
So you have to look at this objectively. And I just think that as much as we starving for a winner, you got to be patient. Ben Johnson is in his first year, and through 8 weeks, I'm starting to think Ben can be that head coach and that offensive coordinator. Because a lot of times you have these great offensive coordinators, they get thrust into these head coaching jobs, but they can't handle both hats. And I'm thinking Ben Johnson through these 7 games so far, I think he's being able to handle both hats along with a great coaching staff that he's put together. So it's just gonna take some time. It's just gonna take some time. But to me, the trajectory is pointing up.
He's got a great coaching staff, with the exception of whoever the trainers for this team is. These are the worst trainers I have ever seen in the history of the NFL. There's no way you need those many soft tissue injuries. No way. That means these guys haven't been stretched properly, haven't been going through maintenance stuff, haven't been lifting, things like that. For that many players to be out of the game is ridiculous. All right, I'm off my high horse. So,
but when you say soft tissue in our thing, you got to say it with a lisp. You got to say soft tissue. Now I'm encouraged, but I'm concerned as well. I'm gonna tell you what my encouragement is. The Bengals have 4 running backs run 100 yards, but the other side that's making me a little nervous. They haven't had a turnover in 3 games.
Good,
That's a good thing.
I think what. I think with the Bears who did not have trouble in the red zone early in the season, it seemed like they've had it the last 3 games. I think as a coach, you just have to figure it out. The scapegoat is for us, the fans, to blame the quarterback. Well, the coach is responsible for whatever it is. You got to find ways to get it in. You got to be more creative. I say it again. They're kind of predictable in the red zone. Some of the stuff he did in Detroit, it worked because you had a great line. I'm talking about as far in the red. I shouldn't say the red zone, but on the goal. I knew when I watched Detroit exactly what was going to happen on the goal line. They was on either pound Montgomery for the 2 yards, or they was on run Gibbs off the edge, or they was on bring a big lineman in, and he was on run out for a pass, or he was just on come in so they could just pound Montgomery. You already knew that's what was going to happen in Detroit. You don't have those guys. You're going to have to be, hey, we did this. We seen the jump ball earlier, a fade route earlier this year. They got called back, but it showed it could work. They need to do some jump balls, maybe some quick slants. You need to get your tight ends involved in this game. You need some fade routes, some naked boots. Matter of fact, some where he fake, roll out, run in versus trying to power everything. I think Ben Johnson's a smart guy. He's smarter than me at football, so he'll figure it out. They're going to get some touchdowns. If it's not this game, they're going to get it eventually.
They just last 1 and 3. They were like 1 and 3 in the red zone, and I think in one of those plays, I think we got a penalty or 2 or whatever it is. And the part just like goes with the plays. Now we're starting to see them run plays. It's like, they're starting to look like teams where they run plays. It's like they're getting plus yardage. Now we move into the red zone. I was watching this game yesterday with Miami and Baltimore. Them dudes got in the red zone. It wasn't even about whether they were going to score. It was like how they was going to score, and it made it
how they was going to score.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I just think Ben Johnson needs to some kind of way trust his offensive line and get his tight end involved in the passing game, because that's what's holding the tight ends back. He's calling plays where the tight ends are, chipping and they stand in the block to protect the quarterback. If he can find some kind of way to have this offense get these tight ends out in some routes, I think in the red zone, it's gonna produce touchdowns as opposed to field goals.
Those are huge targets. You're right.
Those are huge. Those are huge targets. Plank. Those are huge targets, man.
You know what's the sad part about it though, too?
You gotta be able to.
Remember we played sandlot football and you had like your best receiver, whatever it was. You wasn't drawing no plays in the dirt. You just said get open.
Get open.
It wasn't even a play. If you look at Travis Kelce, like you say, you look at some of the routes. I mean, I like actually watched him run routes, and I'm like, he's not really running a route. He's just going somewhere and sitting. He turned around, the ball is right there. We can do the same thing.
Yeah, Travis Kelce, just mentioning him, he's a nightmare. Most receivers out there are so polished and have so many cues. A good DB can actually tell him when he ran the wrong route.
It's so sexy.
Kelce doesn't run any routes. He's out there doing whatever he does, and wherever he end up, Patrick Mahomes finds him. You can't replicate that.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
Look, a quarterback when he has a guy like that, hey, just get the ball to me. So I'm kind of like tripping out on the fans who kind of like moaning about, oh, he's throwing too wrong, too much. Long as it doesn't lead to like interception or forced plays. The coach says, well, he said, hey, he's been our number one, our first read on a lot of plays. Guess what? If he's the first read and he opened, he's supposed to throw to him. You just go to the second read just to go to the second read. If he's open on the first read, you go. Now, coach may have to call more plays where DJ is the first read on some of those plays. And also, I hope they start getting DJ out of the run play. I mean, I don't care about him getting some in rounds or some quick screen, but they got to get him out of the backfield with plays. I would think, because eventually throwing off them because he's getting touches, but I'm sure he would want those touches and catches and not, lining up in the backfield getting touches. They're not
on one-on-one plays anymore.
But again, y'all saw the information I sent out about as far as the targets go. He was 5 targets behind a Doomsday for the year. So it ain't like he's not getting the targets.
Yeah, it's not many.
So, but the thing about it is the success in the passing game has not come, and when the success in the passing game come, you will see the distribution, and you'll look around and be like, oh my God, he got such and such a catch. He got this. He got that. It's just all got to come together. And I get it. People are tired of hearing people say it's just got to come together and we ain't on the same page. When it comes together, you're going to see it. Last week in the first quarter, I said to myself, I didn't sit down the entire first quarter. I was like, oh my God, this is the game where it's finally going to come together. I mean, it was clicking down the field. But then you had the hiccups, and then you had a stall, and then you had a stagnation, and then here we go with Caleb playing off script. A sack here, a throwaway here, and it happens. But it's gonna finally come together, and when it finally comes together, it's gonna click.
Bernard, you put a surprising stat out there that the Bears were the number 1 team in the NFL with long yardage plays.
Yep.
Big
plays.
We looked at all of the things that they've been doing. We've had a bunch of 25-yard plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
run and pass. I guess they're a lot better than I think when I'm watching them.
They are.
Something about Bears offense, I'm always gonna think it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
They are.
Why do media? Why?
Yeah, I had to look that up myself to verify that.
Why are there some? Why is there a or some mediocre quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame? Because they understood when they had a Jaguar, you let it run. I'm not gonna say no names. Terry Bradshaw. I've seen this dude throw a ball so bad, and Swan is jumping up in the air out of bounds in the Super Bowl and catches the ball and comes back in. Jay said this last week, and I cannot stress this more. Why are they not getting Odunze involved in 50-50 balls. Because I'm going to tell you what I've seen for myself, and you can just correct me if you want, Jay, because you know this much better than I do as a receiver. What I noticed about Rome Odunze from last year to this year, he realized he has the speed, but he also realized he's a bigger receiver. He's using his body better to where as you throw a 50-50 ball, he probably going to turn the 50-50 into a 70-30 because I've seen him get guys out there, and it's like, dude is on him, but if you throw the ball to him, I would be shocked if he doesn't come down with it.
I just think because Odunze is in his second year, he hasn't gathered that dog mentality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know how you have some of these receivers, they got that dog Justin Jefferson, dog mentality. Stephon Diggs, dog mentality. Devontae Adams, these are dogs. And they like, if this ball is thrown my way, I'm going to catch it. Odunze just haven't developed that, especially with his size, because all of the guys I just mentioned, he's bigger than them.
Yeah.
He just has not created that dog mentality. And I'm going to tell y'all, once he create the dog mentality, he's going to be unstoppable. He's going to be unstoppable.
I'm just a little scared that my brother, Jay Beasley from Phi Beta Sigma said, dog.
You know what?
Yes.
You know what, Frank? You just made me mad because as I was saying that, I'm looking at two Q's on the screen, and I keep saying dog mentality.
See, there we go. He threw them up. But you know what? Here's I'm gonna let this go. A perfect example of someone, and I'm not saying that Rome Odunze doesn't have attributes. I would say a guy who wasn't the fastest guy, wasn't the strongest guy, wasn't the greatest receiver, but was the dog of dogs, and he's in the Hall of Fame because he earned it, was Michael Irvin, man. Michael Irvin, you couldn't tell me that if you threw a ball, Michael Irvin goes into a huddle and says, I don't care what you run. Throw me the ball. I'm going to get it. As much as I hated the Cowboys, when that ball went in the air and it was going to him, I was like this because I knew he was going to catch it or it's going to be a pass interference.
Yeah.
But it's just like Michael Irvin. I mean, that's just like
make those tough catches. I think that's one thing Rome has to prove. He can make those tough catches. But I do notice his route running look better this year. And Rome is actually, when he catch the ball, last year at times, when he was in traffic, he was looking for the ground. This year, he's making guys tackle him. Yep. He's making guys tackle him, which, big as he is, they don't want to tackle him, really. They hoping he go down, and that's when that dog come. You're going to start seeing him just muffin guys, right? And
thank you, lady.
Be like, hey, man, thank you, but you got that touchdown. I see you on the next play.
But with that said, y'all still know who the greatest wide receiver ever played the game, right?
Jerry Rice.
Guess what? Go Mob Jerry.
46. Look, and that's great. And that's true too because him coming out of college. I mean, at the very beginning, he didn't do all that great. 4.6 speed.
Jerry Rice ran a 4.640.
He's one of the and for
nobody was chasing him. He didn't.
You can't. And that's why I say, you get a gauge on speed and stuff like that. Jerry Rice is on the field and he gets the ball. He ain't running no 4.6 after he catch. He about 4.3 after that. Yeah. And it ain't got all that other stuff. And he's a GOAT for a reason, man.
Yep. Hey, we ready for 2 for 2? Then we'll get to the predictions.
Get to the predictions.
Yeah,
get to the standings.
Man, the 2 for 2, for those who are new at this show, welcome to Bears Banter. Tonight we're on YouTube, Facebook, and we on LinkedIn tonight. 2 for 2 is when we pick the top 2 teams and the bottom 2 teams. I'll start it off. My 2 bottom teams is the Miami Dolphins and the Tennessee Titans. That's my 2 bottom 2. My top 2 right now is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, I'll go. My bottom 2, I'm still going to go with Tennessee. And I'm also going to go as much as I got to, can I have a 2A and a 2B?
Yeah, let's go with 2A.
Miami is bad. Oh, Miami is bad. I can't see how Mike McDaniel still got his job. But that's going to be my second bottom team, my first bottom team, and the second one will be the New Orleans Saints. My
Mm.
top two teams. As much as I don't want to do it, but y'all know me, I have to give respect where respect is due. Right now, Indiana Jones is what they calling him now,
Mm.
and
That was my
Jonathan
team
Taylor.
last week.
The Indianapolis Colts are balling right now. They are
Mm.
definitely
They
balling.
are. They are.
And as much as I like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I still got to go with my boy Jalen Hurts
Okay.
because he's the bottom line is they the world champs, and until
The world
somebody
champions.
dethrone them, they're still gonna be in my top two. So those are my top two and bottom two.
Well, I got to go. My bottom two is got to be Arizona and Tennessee. Arizona lost 5 in a row, and they played bad.
They don't play bad. They are bad.
They bad. My top two are the Broncos and the Patriots.
Okay.
And I'm just saying because and people can say what they want, but when I last checked, I think the Patriots have won 5 in a row and Broncos
Yes,
won.
they have. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Okay, well, my bottom two are the C's, the Killer C's, Carolina, and Cleveland. Anytime you get a guy on your team that gets 5 sacks and you still lose, I don't know what else to do with that.
But guess what? Guess what? He the one signed that contract. He wanted out, remember?
He did. Then my top
You
two.
sold your soul for that money.
That happens a lot. My top two, number one, Detroit. As much as it hurts to say it, those boys are serious. They just signed
Aiden Hutchinson.
Hey, he's gonna be there for a while. They're gonna be a problem. And my number two team is the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Okay. They under the radar because everybody's looking at everybody else, and they just
Who would have ever thought the New England Patriots would be in first place in the AFC East?
You're right.
Yeah. Everybody thought that was Buffalo. Right?
Uh-huh.
It's that system. It's that system football, man. It's like, don't do no crazy stuff. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, this, and this, and that's all I need you to do. And everybody's on the same page, and that's all they're doing. And
Wait, ain't that the Belichick way? No, I mean Belichick is losing now, so apparently he forgot that he knew coach football. Okay.
Hey, we got the records at the bottom right there. Jaden pulled out a little bit ahead of us. I'm trailing. Oh man, Plank, I missed your second part.
We gonna cheat off of Jay paper this week.
No, we ain't. All right, 1-3. Jay running away. Good job, bro.
Hey, y'all know me. I just call it how I see it, man.
Hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
So he didn't call it like he saw it. 6-1 ain't no joke. You are what your record says it is.
Hey, that's what they say. Right. That's what they say. And with that said, I'm picking the Bears this week. Okay. And I'm picking the Bears 31 to 24.
Oh.
31-24. Hey, Jay, what do you think the Bears going to do to win this game?
I think the Bears are going to run the football. I think Kyle Monangai is going to have a career day. And I think Caleb is going to be one of them games where I actually think Caleb is going to win this game. He's going to be the reason why we win this game. I do think that our defense is going to struggle with Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I think our defensive, because our defensive backfield is suffering with a lot of injuries, but I do think that we're going to be able to score enough points with off Caleb Williams' arm to win this game. Not a touchdown.
Okay. Well, I think Tyree Stevenson coming back. He's played, even though he's our cornerback number 2. He's played a legitimate cornerback number one play.
Yes.
He got it down to like maybe 35% that people were completing passes on him. I got the Bears winning this week, and I'm getting the Bears 35, the Bengals 21.
Oh man, Plank, you know what? I got to jump in. Plank, I know we haven't even talked about this, but I had the Bears winning 35-24. We pretty close.
I like it.
What you got, guy?
I'm gonna go Bears 30, Bengals 28.
Oh, yikes!
I'm gonna have to get quick pick, man. We got a lot of Bears going today. Man, you know what? Ain't nothing like a victory Sunday. I think this game is on what, CBS this week? I think it's
CBS, you mean? CBS. Yeah, it is on CBS this week.
Okay.
Again.
CBS, national game. I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping that the Bears able to get that W back in the column and keep going. I do think this team is different than the previous teams, so I don't expect some of the stuff that we've seen before. And I'm hoping the players get control of all those penalties. I think this is a thing now where the players got to deal with the penalties more so than the coaches, because the coaches been talking about it. So maybe this week a couple of guys and got their feelings hurt in the locker room, they got grabbed by the collar and and even if they slow off the ball, they probably won't jump off sides.
I feel like they got content. I don't think they're content. Well, you know what? Last year when they lost, it was like, especially after the Washington game we lost, after they lost games, it was like, okay, well, let's do the next one. I think they're kind of angry. I think they I just think their whole attitude is completely different, where they really are angry. So I said 30-28 because I'm never even spot on, but I would be shocked because Chase is going after a record that only Megatron holds. I think it 4 or 5 games in a row he has 10 catches.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bears know it too. So I think it's gonna be a little extra special for not them to get a win. They just hoping that Chase don't get off.
Yeah. Anybody say Flacco like throwing or something anyway? I mean, he averaged about 3 every time he plays. And I think the main thing with them is I think because he's integrating to the offense, the easy thing for him to do is to throw the Chase. And I think if you start making him go through some of the reads and going through everything else, you may see where there is some gap in some of the play calling. But he's basically just been getting the ball and just throwing the Chase, because one game he threw to Chase 24 times.
24 times.
Yeah, and he had 16 receptions. I mean, imagine a guy getting the ball thrown to him 24 times? I mean, like,
I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. I mean,
is he really has no weaknesses.
Yeah.
But he's really dangerous once he gets the ball in his hand.
He gets the ball, because a lot of those passes are quick passes.
Quick passes.
3 side yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and then you let him work from there. But I just think that Flacco is going to start this. I do believe Flacco is going to start this game, but I don't think he's going to finish.
Yeah, and hopefully we got something to do with that. But here's another remarkable thing, though. Everybody in the planet knows that they're going to throw the ball to Chase, and he still gets it.
Yep.
Well, you as a DB, you can't touch a receiver more than
can't do that either.
2 yards off the ball. They're bigger than you are. They're stronger than you are. You usually don't see receivers of the same brand as Chase anyway. This dude is an anomaly. He's the number 1 or number 2 best receivers in the
league. Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
And for the most part, all those catches haven't led to a lot of wins, because I want to say last year, I hope I'm using the term incorrectly, but I think he was like a triple crown or something that he was a triple crown, but he was disappointed because it was irrelevant because they didn't make the playoffs. I think he had about 118 catches last year.
Yeah, he led the league in touchdowns, receptions, and yards. Yeah.
But for a 6 foot, like 2, was he about 205? Do what he do, and he's not really an overwhelmingly big receiver. That makes him even better. So all I can think of with a guy like him, imagine if he was Rome Odunze's size.
I'm not worried.
He'd be mini Megatron.
He starts playing cornerback this week, because if he ain't playing defense too, I don't think he can stop us this week. So there you
go.
Yeah, I agree. That's true.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to get back on that collar so I could get one. Man, unfortunately, we win. I won't get no closer to Jay.
Right, you know, it's all right.
Since we all the Bears with it.
You know what we're gonna earn? You know what we're gonna earn our money? When we got the Vikings on the road, we got the Eagles on the road, and we got Green Bay on the road. That's where it's gonna start changing.
And God, that's why
everybody was down from last week about Baltimore. Baltimore is a lot better than people give them credit for. You're looking at their record. Baltimore is going to surprise a lot of people, and they may still end up making the playoffs. So don't throw the baby out your house with the bathwater. Baltimore,
but guy, I'm gonna tell you, that's why to me this game and next week's game is so key, because now you finna hit that meat where you finna battle in the division. That's when this thing is gonna come to a head. So you need to try to stack as many wins as you can.
Yep.
In these next couple of weeks, because we got the Vikings on the road, we got Detroit at home, but we got Green Bay 2 times in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You got the Browns coming here. You got to go to San Francisco. So these are the games that you need to put in the win column to stack your record.
Wait, I don't even. You know what? Maybe I just glossed over that. We got Cleveland twice this year.
No, we got Cleveland once, but the Cleveland game is at home.
Oh, that's right. I think it's Cincinnati. Duh. Yeah.
No, we got Green Bay week. I want to say week 14.
Oh, that's
week
right.
16 back to back. So that's crucial. That's crucial.
Yeah. We got the Giants coming up somewhere in between there, don't we?
Next week. No, we got the Giants. We got the Giants next week. Oh
man, want to pray for Cam Scatterboo. I mean, that was a gross injury. Oh my God, that was.
Y'all think I'm finna miss my first home game?
Why?
Since 2003, me and the wife gonna be out of town.
Hey,
but guess
what?
No, but guess what? And then we gonna cut this short. But guess what? My flight come in at 7:00 on Sunday morning. The game started at 12.
You ain't gonna make that game.
You know what? Hey, you gonna put your bags down. You gonna go up in there. You gonna be doing all this. You gonna turn around. Your wife gonna be sitting.
No. Because I told her, I was like, well, we coming in midway at 7. You can take a Uber home. I can take an Uber to Social Field.
Hey, you might be the air traffic controller too. So let's see how that works out.
I know, right? And she was just like, really, Jay? I'm like, hey, I'm just saying. But cooler heads convinced me I can go ahead and miss the Giants game.
Good answer.
Oh, absolutely. I've been married. I ain't been married 30 years from that.
Exactly.
You know how to make the right decision sometime.
Hey, I still think there was a problem with you marrying that girl when she was 2 years old. That wasn't right.
But when you've been married for 30 years old, y'all can get into a flat out, straight up, hardcore argument. Everybody will ignore you.
Right.
30 years.
What it is.
Hey, before we close out tonight, I know we went over a little bit, man. In the spirit of the day, I mean, it's not nothing I really get into, but it's
me.
A lot of people do. But have y'all seen any great decoration this week? One of my neighbors. I mean, wow. I never seen nothing like that. I mean, the whole yard is statues. And then today they brought out the smoke machine, and some of these statues, when I say statues, like figures, right? Creepy figures. The average one is at least 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Then his grave sites and everything they do to the neighborhood. And then today a smoke machine was smoking in the yard. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people. I was never a Halloween kid. I was never a Halloween person even as a kid. But a lot of people love Halloween, and God bless their ministry. That's all I can say. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. Hey, let them do it.
I think I
ain't trying
lost
to.
the luster for
I ain't trying.
Halloween.
I ain't trying to impede on nobody's happiness or fun, whatever it is that they do. So let them do it. But
Now the rumor was this, and here's the rumor. I remember we were kids. One of the things that stopped it was somebody had a hypodermic needle in their bag. But what it was, we found out later. They went to this old lady's house and she was diabetic, and she accidentally dropped it in. But the point is, from that point on, we get
everybody was
kids
scared.
like not mom and them. And
Everybody
if you got
coming
a
in
young
taking the
mama,
candy.
if you got a young mama, she get pizza. She gonna have line dance at the house. Y'all gonna go in the basement. I stopped decorating once my kids became teenagers.
I did too. I did too,
Never,
Jimmy Red. I did too.
man,
Once my girls became teenagers, it was over. It was over for us.
my kids
It's like,
didn't care
okay.
about Halloween, man. They just wanted to watch cartoons on Halloween. I was good with that.
Hey Jimmy, you gotta make some time. Y'all know I've been
Come on home,
Jimmy
man.
up every other week, telling them, "Come on, bro." I know I've been catching them on his
We
birthday.
outnumbering Jay, man. Come
Yeah,
on,
Jimmy.
you got
Jimmy, I
this
need some
big
help,
brother
bro.
out here with all these cues.
I need some help, bro. But all right, y'all. Bear down. I'll see y'all Sunday after the game.
Hey, y'all have fun this weekend, man. You and the wife.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sure do.
definitely.
All right. Hey, till next time.
Hey.
Good job, fellas.
Yeah, great job.